Hey everybody, and welcome to Hope is Not a Tactic with your host, Lieutenant Joe Pangaro, the school safety and security show, but really for any place people gather. All right, so recently in the news, we've seen quite a few incidents of active shooter events. Now, our whole gig here is not about active shooter. Our whole gig here is about keeping your facility safe from all kinds of problems, but specifically from violence. So first, let's talk about our sponsors. So we got Riot Tint right here, riottint.com. Riot Tint makes safety glazing for windows and doors, probably one of the best things you can do in your facility to add safety and security. I'm a big proponent of that material, and Riot Tint is excellent. That's why they're a sponsor here. Blue360media.com, they're my publisher. We're going to have school safety stuff on there soon. Medicalessentialdiagnostics.com. They are a provider of health screenings for all New Jersey employees, state, county, local, and federal, especially our first responders. At no cost to you, you go in and get a screening and make sure you're healthy. And then our newest sponsor is Dubby Energy Drink. Actually, really very good. I've been drinking it. Dubby.gg. So go check out all these products. They keep us here. All right. So in New York City recently, we saw an individual walking through the streets of the city carrying a rifle, and he targeted a particular building. Now, when you find out who's in there, Blackstone, huge company, and also the NFL, the National Football League, has offices in that facility. And this individual managed to walk through the front door and get into the building, get into the elevator with a rifle, and get up into the offices. So, one of the things that we talk about is, you have to see violence coming at you so that you can be prepared. And then you have to respond. So, where was security? All right, so there's two ways to look at security. There are visual cues to security. A visual cue is something that we see when we ride up. So when you pull up to a lot of buildings now, don't we see the bollards out front, the big concrete bollards? Sometimes they look like plant pots, big concrete things, or the big metal things coming out of the ground. Purpose of that is to stop somebody from crashing a vehicle into the building, right? Either on accident or on purpose. So we want to think about a visual cue. Having a security guard outside is a visual cue. When I talk about seeing approaching danger, go back and look at some of these episodes on your schools. Approaching danger, to be able to have somebody coming up towards your facility and to look and see, gee, it looks like there's security there. And what does that look like? That looks like a person in a vest, an armed security person, a police officer, a police car, a security car, something that gives a visual cue that there are people here worried about safety and security. Now, if there had been some security officers outside this facility that this person could have seen, he might have engaged them right there and shot the security officer. We know he went in and killed a police officer who was working on an off-duty detail as security. And this person got to walk right up on him and shoot this officer and kill him, as well as three other individuals who were working in the various companies there. So the visual cue is important. So in the mornings and in the afternoons, when the kids are coming in and when the kids are going out, having people out there in traffic vests with radios, right? They look official. Station them all around the area, not all bunched up in one area, so that somebody approaching will say, wow, looks like there's security there. Okay, maybe I'll go on to the next place. So visual cue to security. Then the ability to respond back. All right, so now I know there's lots of controversy here. A lot of our schools don't want to hear about armed security officers. I do assessments all across the country, and I do get people who will tell me they would never have an armed security officer in their building. They don't want that gun in there. And then other places, absolutely, they want armed security. So when I was the director of school safety and security, as a retired law enforcement individual, I was permitted to carry a concealed weapon. And the board asked me to carry my gun. They paid me a stipend to train and to carry that weapon so that at least there was one person who could respond. So what do? We can either hire our own individuals, hire them and train them to be our armed security or unarmed security. And then they have uniforms, they have positions where we can see them outside, people can recognize them. One good thing you can do is that I went to a lot of these districts and I said, seeing a police car in front of the school tells whoever's showing up that the police are there, and therefore they know good guys and good girls are there with weapons. So maybe they don't want to attack. So they went to the local police department and I said, hey, reach out to them. Cop cars are changed out all the time. Agencies get new cop cars every couple of years and they sell them off. So I said, go to the local police chief or the mayor and council and say, hey, can we have one or two of those cars that you're getting rid of, right? You're not going to patrol in them. They take most of the guts out of them, but they leave a couple of the lights on them and it says police, and you park that in front of your school. If you have SROs, school resource officers, and they walk around your facility, give them the car to drive between them. Most districts have multiple buildings, right? So they have to go from one building to another. Give them that car, put school security on it, whatever. But it's a visual cue that there is security. And when it's parked out front, even if there's no officer in it, even if you don't have officers or security people, it will look like you do. And a lot of times the visual cue is enough to help us secure a facility a little better than it is. Right? So people invest visual cue to security. And then what's the idea of having people in your facilities that are armed? Now, I'm not a proponent of arming teachers. I'm not. I think if you have some administrators that have experience with weapons, experience with military, police, they were police at one point, I might be okay with individuals like that. But just giving all your teachers guns, it's asking for a problem, because how well is everyone really trained? What's their real experience? Even if they go through a course that they can shoot well, in a dangerous situation, you may have 3 or 4 or 5 people shooting down a hallway. And that's just, I don't see that as working out well for us in our goal to save people. Would I oppose 1 or 2 people in the building being specially trained and armed so that you could have a response? I can't say I'm against that. That's up to your community standards. But I would certainly look into it, consider it, go out there and find out, is that something you want to do? If you have a security director, former law enforcement or military, can they be armed in a concealed weapon place? This way, nobody sees the gun, but if you need it, you have it. And then a hybrid I saw in New York. Some New York schools have hired outside security agencies, and they are uniformed security officers. Most of them are retired police officers, and they're armed. They don't come in the building, though. They don't go in the school. They stay outside. They cover the perimeters, the playgrounds, the recreation areas, the sports fields. They're armed and they have a radio. They don't go in the buildings. In an emergency, a kid shows up with a gun and starts doing something in the school. They put it out over the radio. The police have the radio. The security has the radio. Then they can run into the school, and then you have a chance to fight back. All right, so there's lots of different ideas here of being armed and secured. But we see that this horrific situation of people shooting up our facilities and our buildings is only getting worse. So get a threat assessment, train your people in de-escalation, and consider your security. Remember, if they can see what looks like security or is security, it might get them to go somewhere else. And that's what we want, right? Move on. Don't hurt our people. All right, this is Lieutenant Joe. Remember, take a look at our sponsors. Call Riot Tint. Call Medical Essential. Go to Blue 360 Media and drink Dubby. It's all good stuff. If you have any questions, joe@pangarotraining.com, and I can help you get an assessment, train your staff, whatever it is you need. Be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. And hit the like button, and please subscribe and tell your friends about us. Hope is not a tactic, right? We have to do better than just hoping so that we can keep everyone safe.